Greetings, and once again I thank you for the opportunity to spend some time with you. I was really struck last weekend and prior to last weekend as we remembered September the 11th. I was amazed at the number of people who said, I don't know that I want to go through that again. I'm not sure I want to relive that. I'm not sure I want to see the pictures. And I must say, in some ways, I was somewhat relieved because that was somewhat of my secret feeling, but I wasn't as courageous in articulating it. And I think for others, it was an opportunity to realize that it did happen. It was a tragic experience, and we have moved on. Whichever side we're in, let me suggest to myself and to all of us that we really do need to pray for peace in our own country and in the world. And it is something that we must do together. Secondly, we must pray for those who lost their lives in 9/11. That did come through to me as I watched television, as I watched the news, the number of people whose hearts are still broken and wrenched by that experience, and they're still reliving those experiences time and time and time again. And so to pray for those who have lost loved ones, and of course those who have died, and some of them literally gave their life to save other people. So the terrorist attacks, we don't know how, when, where, or what. There's all kinds of speculation. As we know, there was speculation last week that there might be another one, but we don't know that. But we do have to pray for peace. We have to be peacemakers. We have to pray for reconciliation. I also want to take this opportunity to say that I think that the terrorist attacks and remembering them last weekend has something directly to do with the Archdiocese of New Orleans. We've talked about the Battle of New Orleans, and I'm suggesting that there are some terrorist attacks on our city as we continue to have multiple murders every day. Violence, people sitting in their cars, a child sitting in a car is shot to death and the car is riddled with a gun. People losing loved ones, shooting a wife and then themselves. The list goes on and on and on. And it's important that we remember it's not just statistics. This is a family. This is a person. This is someone's life who's been taken or someone's life who's been shattered. But is that not in some ways a terrorist attack that we have among us? I'm going to suggest that there's another terrorist attack among us, or another part of the Battle of New Orleans, and that is the bullying that goes on in all of our schools, whether they are private schools, charter schools, public schools, Catholic schools. The statistics show us, and the sociologists and psychologists show us that there's bullying going on everywhere, and some people are hurt physically, but I suspect more and more kids, more and more of our young children are hurt emotionally, and in some ways emotionally hurt for the rest of their lives. And so what is it that we can do to stop the bullying, to help people to be peacemakers, because that's a terrorist attack on our kids. Thirdly, I think another part of the terrorist attack that's going on in our world today, and it's throughout the United States, and I'm not going to get into the details of this this time, but we will do it at another time in the blog, and that would be religious liberty. I asked this question: are there not some things going on in our country that are in some ways infringing upon or threatening to take away our religious liberty, our religious freedom? It's a very, very important question for this 21st century. And so those are the things that I think are prevalent going on. So I conclude this by asking you to join me in a prayer for peace. 9/11 was certainly a terrorist attack. We have different kinds of battles and terrorist attacks among us today. And who's going to do something about it? You and me, the disciples of Jesus. We are the ones who can make a difference and must do so by our actions and by our words. Please join me in that effort. I'm not saying it's easy, but we have to make a difference in the world, and we have to be able to fight this Battle of New Orleans and to remove terror from our society.